How's it going, everyone? Milwaukee coming back at you once again, and today we're going to be discussing Flashpoint by Jeff Johns with art by Andy Kubert. Let's get into it. Barry Allen. He wakes up at his desk in a world that is not his own. His mother is alive, and she's there at the police department expecting him to take her out for her birthday. Turns out that Barry isn't the Flash anymore, and no one has heard of the Justice League. But they have heard of Batman, so Barry, unable to run at super speeds, he borrows his mother's car and heads to Gotham to see Batman. Meanwhile, Cyborg, the American superhero, he tries to recruit Batman and other metahumans so that they could take out Wonder Woman and Aquaman and put an end to this war. Batman refuses to join up with Cyborg and the rest of the crew, and Barry Allen arrives at the Batcave. Expecting to find Bruce in the Batcave, Barry instead gets confronted by a Batman known as Thomas Wayne, and he wipes the floor with Barry Allen. We cut to Deathstroke, the Terminator. He and his crew, they're sailing deep into the heart of sunken Paris, where Aquaman arrives and takes him out. Barry Allen takes the time to explain to Thomas Wayne, Batman, who he is and where he comes from. Wonder Woman captures Steve Trevor and New Themyscira, the former UK. Captured and tortured, Steve Trevor reveals to Wonder Woman and the Furies that Lois Lane is in fact behind enemy lines and she is spying on the Amazonians. Believing that Barry Allen is insane, Thomas Wayne agrees to help him recreate the lightning strike and chemical origins of the Flash, only for Barry Allen to get set on fire and burnt to a crisp. Luckily, however, their second attempt works, and Barry Allen ends up saving the life of Thomas Wayne, who gets knocked off the roof of Wayne Manor and was about to be impaled on a fence. Thomas Wayne, now more so believing Barry Allen in the story, decides to team up with Cyborg, and they go to Metropolis to rescue this character called Superman that the world's never heard of, but Barry Allen insists should be there. Once in New Metropolis, Barry Allen, Batman, and Cyborg travel deep down underneath the city into a bunker known as Project Superman, where they rescue an emaciated Kal-El, and they bring him up to the surface, and upon Kal-El first feeling those rays of the yellow sun, he immediately flies off and runs away. What are you going to do? While all this is going on, Lois Lane and the underground of London runs into Grifter and the Resistance. Barry Allen, Batman, and Cyborg, they gather up what troops they can from the metahumans, and they head to London because the war between Emperor Aquaman and Wonder Woman is officially kicking off, and it means destruction for the world of Flashpoint. Reverse Flash shows up and taunts Barry Allen after the death of Billy Batson, one of the key crucial members of Shazam, or should I say, Captain Thunder. While going in for the kill on Barry Allen, Thomas Wayne Batman stabs Reverse Flash in the back with a sword, killing him. Barry Allen, desperate for a solution, desperate for a way to get back to his own world and leave this Flashpoint nightmare behind, runs into the Speed Force, trying to, right these wrongs. Because Aquaman has just deployed his continent-seeking weapons, seeking the remainder of New Themyscira down into the depths of the ocean. The whole reason that Barry Allen is going back in time is because he needs to stop himself from saving his mother. Yes, you heard that right. We were led to believe this whole time that Reverse Flash created this hellish nightmare of a world, but it was in fact Barry Allen who in a moment of weakness went back in time in order to save his mother, and thus he brought the world of Flashpoint to where it was. Because he changed that one thing, all these other things were altered, and this was all Barry's fault, and he needs to make things right. While in the Speed Force, Barry Allen sees 3 distinct timelines, and he gets spoken to by a mysterious character who tells Barry Allen that all the timelines must be merged into one to strengthen the heroes in preparation for their arrival. And seeing as this powerful enemy is on the way, the timelines are merged, and this is how we end up with a new reality that is the new 52. All of our old heroes, altered in some way, new and improved. In this new world and timeline, Barry Allen, he heads back to Gotham. He goes to the Batcave, and he stumbles upon, Bruce Wayne Batman, and he gives Bruce a letter that was written from Thomas Wayne Batman, his father, in the alternate, Flashpoint world. You know, Bruce Wayne, he tears up. It's an emotional moment between him and Barry Allen, and that's the end of the story. Barry Allen thinks he set things right, but as we move forward, I guess we'll see what happens. As for what I thought of the Flashpoint event itself, I really enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite DC event. At least at this point, I'm gonna continue reading on here through the New 52. And I'm gonna read those events that I never read before. But I enjoyed this event so much that it's the first event that I'm reading all the tie-in issues for. And thus far, they're pretty decent, but they really help, hold up this story because it's really kind of brief for an event if you think about it. It's only 5 issues, goes by pretty quick. Barry arrives. By the second issue, he's trying to get his powers back. Third issue, he got his powers. He's trying to put the Justice League together, find the Superman and stuff, and then he's on to like the final couple issues where the big fight is going on. And Barry Allen, everybody's rallying around Barry. He's able to unite these heroes that, and I guess villains, because in this world of Flashpoint, characters that would traditionally be villains, they're like the heroes, like Citizen Cold, for example. And of course, these heroes and villains, they don't get along. And if they get put into the same room together, they'll be at each other's throats, which is one of the reasons why Cyborg is having such trouble bringing them all together. Thomas Wayne's Batman, he's more of a brutal Batman. There's a scene in this book where he chases a villain to the top of Wayne casinos because, Thomas Wayne Batman, he's like Biff from Back to the Future 2. It's all about that gambling. There's Wayne casinos and hotels everywhere all over Gotham. And the character, he's interrogating the character and he throws the character off the roof. And when Cyborg confronts him, he's like, oh, she slipped. And Cyborg says, a lot of people slip right here on this corner of the casino, don't they? Calling Thomas out on his BS. Another character that I really enjoyed in this series is Cyborg. For the first time, I really see the potential in the character. Before he was always on like the Teen Titans or whatever. I don't really take the teenage superheroes seriously. I don't know about you, but here he really shines. He's like the American hero in replace of Superman. He's directly connected like the president. He's all this fancy technology. Like I said, he's Mr. America here. I feel like it really works. The war between Emperor Aquaman and Wonder Woman and the Furies. This whole thing started off of a Aquaman and Wonder Woman. They were going to be married, but there was some sabotage there that we'll get into in like the world of Flashpoint featuring Wonder Woman, tie-ins and stuff. It doesn't really get touched on too much here in the main book, but you think, why would this war between these two superheroes bring about the end of the world? Then you realize that Aquaman has been sinking continents. Like most of Europe is underwater, and so devastating effects between these two. I don't even know if they were lovers because I don't know if they consummated the. Well, doesn't matter. They didn't get married. They were right there at the altar, and somebody objected violently. Let's say that. And so they've been at each other's throats this whole time. Wonder Woman's killed Mira. So Aquaman, Emperor Aquaman, he loses it. It's just, a really great backdrop for this world. This war between these two metahumans, bringing all this destruction. And here comes Barry Allen, desperate to fix it and get back to his own world, only to find out that Barry Allen was the cause of all this in the first place. It's just too good. We get a revelation here that the Reverse Flash can now kill Barry Allen because of Barry's actions. Reverse Flash has somehow been removed from Barry's timeline, or Barry has been removed from Reverse Flash's timeline. Because like before, we learned in the Road to Flashpoint book that Reverse Flash could never kill Barry because he needed Barry alive for Reverse Flash to even be able to tap into the Speed Force. But now, because Barry had changed things, that was different. So we get a different Reverse Flash here, and he's going for the kill on Barry Allen. And with this being an all or nothing, all out destruction, end of the world, apocalypse type scenario book, there's a lot of character deaths. Characters are biting it left and right, not just in the main book, but in the tie-ins as well. It's really fun. You never know who's gonna make it, who's gonna live. And there was that great fake out when Barry Allen got burnt to a crisp when he got struck by that lightning. But of course, the second attempt worked, and he was able to get his regenerative abilities back. He was just fine. But for a cliffhanger at the end of I think it was the second issue that happened. That was some pretty good stuff. And showed that Jeff Johns and Andy Kubert weren't afraid to really go there and push the envelope, push the limits here with this story where anything could happen. It's the end of the world as we knew it, and I guess we feel fine or something. I don't know. And again, top-notch art by Andy Kubert. He's always been a top-flight artist, in my opinion, and he really brings it here. There's this scene where you got like Deathstroke. He's sailing into Paris. And you can see just the top of the Eiffel Tower, popping out of the water there. It just shows you the level of devastation and the flooding in the European continents. The world's going to hell. It's end times. Just really great attention to detail. Great redesigns on the characters. I especially like Emperor Aquaman's new look. Just great stuff from Andy, but you shouldn't expect anything less from one of the legendary Kuberts, right? As far as things that I disliked about the story, to be honest, there wasn't really much, but there is like a lot of, because this is a big event and there's a lot of tie-ins, right? There are a lot of scenes here where a character will show up for like a page, and it's just to let you know that, hey, that character's out there, they're part of the story, they're part of the whole, but go read that tie-in, right? Like the whole thing with Steve Trevor revealing that Lois Lane is behind enemy lines. You get a tie-in for that. There's other examples of that, like Deathstroke getting killed by Aquaman. Well, there's a tie-in for that. The whole Aquaman, Wonder Woman, the wedding that was to be that never was, and the whole war. There's tie-ins for that. So there's a lot of those moments where they introduce something interesting in the main book, and you're like, ooh, I want more of that. But you don't get it here, and so it just kind of feels like a little bit out of place. It keeps the story flowing pretty well, but like I said, if I had to dislike anything about the book, it would be sort of like those moments where it's like, okay, you're trying to sell me more books, I get it. So that would be it, but it doesn't really hurt the story for me. So overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give Flashpoint the highest grade I could give it. 5 out of 5. Excellent stuff. Is it a great starting point for this whole brand new 52 universe? That could be debatable. I mean, Flashpoint really is kind of self-contained within this book and the tie-ins. But it's popular enough and well-liked enough that Jeff Johns returned to it 10 years later to write more stories in this sort of pocket world where anything goes. So like I said, Flashpoint, 5 out of 5. Leads into the new 52. Gives you an explanation of the merging timelines where they introduce Wildstorm characters into the DC universe with, I believe, Vertigo characters, if I'm not mistaken. And we go forward to the new 52 from here. Like I said, 5 out of 5. Fantastic read on its own. Is it necessary for your understanding of the new 52? Probably not. But I wouldn't pass it up. Highly recommended. Check it out if you get the chance. Until next time, I'll see you there.